Hey guys, how are you all today? I hope you're in fine fettle. So it's a bit of a cloudy day in London today, a little bit chilly. So I've come inside the shed because I need to sort out my seeds. Thing is, in the last few days we've had some absolutely gorgeous days. Strong sunshine, temperatures 20 some days. And it's a bit weird because when we have those kind of temperatures, I suddenly have a bit of a panic attack because I think it makes it feel like we're further into the year than we actually are. And I think, oh, I should have sown, I don't know. But what you have to remember is, actually, at night, it's really still quite chilly. We're getting down to around 1-2 degrees at night still. So with a little bit of wind, that's going to give you a frost. So hold on to your hats, we're not too late. I make a plan during the winter, and I revisit it many times because let's face it, in the winter there's a little bit of gardening to do but not much. So what else are you going to do apart from do the plan over and over? And then I'm looking down now, I'll show you in a second, and then I look at what seeds I've got, what I've saved, new things, and I start to make a plan. I'm just wriggling because I want to show you all. And then I end up with this sort of situation. I've got a box here, I've got my jars of beans, I've got things sent from friends, which I'll talk about in a minute. So what I thought today I would do is, seeing as I'm going to have a bit of a sort out anyway, why don't I do it and talk to you at the same time about what I'm going to grow this year and why, and sort of timings. Excuse me, I always get a frog in my throat when I start to speak. Now, instead of kind of moving the camera backwards and forwards to try and show you things, I'm just going to hold them up to the camera so we don't have all that creaking of the camera in the background, which is annoying. Before I do that, I just want to say something to answer a question that I'm getting a lot at the moment, both private message through my own private Facebook account, through my Vivi's Kitchen Garden Facebook, through my web, which is Vivi's Kitchen Garden wordpress.com, and with the videos. So, I have not retired. I am not 65. I'm a long way off that. I'm in my late 40s still, only for a few more months. So no, I haven't retired. I've had to stop my job because physically my body can't do it anymore, and I think emotionally I was getting a bit tired too. So I am far away from being able to cash in on any pensions. It's at least sort of 15-16 years away. I will probably, after I've had my year off, have to do some sort of job to have an income. I'll see when the time comes. You know, something will happen, something will come up. I'm not a daft girl. I'll think of something. But yes, I'm not 65. I haven't retired. I've tried not to be insulted by people who think I've actually just retired. Do I really look 65? No, hopefully not. Anyway, on with the game today. So, I'm just going to show you one of my tins. Let me see if this will pick up. Can you see there's sort of little envelopes in here? I'm kind of checking this at the same time, and they've got packets in. These envelopes each represent a bed. So, for instance, if that will pick up, bed 2. What's going in bed 2? Celery, celeriac, leeks, carrots. So I organise it so that I keep my packets together by the bed they're going in. Then I write on my little envelopes when I should be sewing them, because obviously until now having a full-time job has meant the days off are precious, and you have to be really organised, thinking, okay, if I've only got these couple of days off in April because of other commitments, I need to make sure that on those days I get such and such a thing sewn. It is a bit nerdy, it is a bit organised. That's how my mind works, and that's how I found over the years that I need to do things down here in order to get my results. So what am I sowing this year? Let's start with the bean bed, because that's, in some ways, that's my most important bed, because it's the harvest I rely on most, I think. So I'm just going to lean forward and grab bottles, and hopefully, where's that packet? Excuse the top of my head for a second. The great thing about beans is it's dead easy to save your own seed, and I try to save as much of my own seed as possible. A, because I'm tight and I don't want to spend money on seeds, but B, because I know that it's come from organic stock, it's been grown organically, and I'm happy with the results I've had. So, lots of different beans. This is called Gigantis. It's a Greek type of runner bean. Let me show you, you can probably see against the size of my fingers how big it is. It's massive. So unlike most runner beans that you would grow to eat the bean whole, this is grown for the beans themselves. Leave them to dry on the plant, pod them and keep the dry beans. These are actually have come from a friend. So I've got, I don't know, maybe 20 beans in there. So I'll probably sow about 10 of them direct and 10 of them in pots, just to make sure. They are great in soups and stews. Cracking on, I've got, where are they? Helder and Necker, which are both, this one's a dwarf French bean, sorry, it's a climbing French. This one is a flat bean. You can eat both of them green. So at the height of summer, I'll have green beans to eat, and then I'll save some for drying. Yay! The bolottis, I think I might have saved more than I need, so if there's any left over, I'll take them home and I'll cook them. Then we've got, I've got 2 more climbing beans that I'm growing. I don't normally grow runners because I'm not really a fan, but when you get this in your Christmas stocking from your mummy, you kind of have to grow them, don't you? So I'll be growing some runners this year for the first time in, I don't know, 10 years. I'm sure I will like them. Thank you, Mummy. And then finally, new to me, this one is called pea bean. Actually, let's open it and show you, because they're amazing looking. They're sort of a piebald colour. Again, you can have them as, you can have the whole pod green or save them to dry. And they look like this. Aren't they fab? Aren't they fab? So you can then have them dry later in the winter. Why have I picked these varieties? Why do I grow so many beans? Really simple answer. Actually, there's a few answers. Firstly, I love beans. Secondly, they're great in my diet as a vegetarian. Thirdly, they're dead easy to store. I don't have to rely on a freezer and freezer space, all that kind of stuff. I store them dried. They last for months and months and months. I can just grab a handful whenever I need. Brilliant. And finally, really important for me, because I've got a tiny, tiny space to grow in. They're growing vertically. So if you think of how much space on the land they're taking up, what maybe 3 metres in the row, half a metre wide, I'm getting masses and masses of veggies in that space. Brilliant. So that's why I'm growing my vertical beans. I am growing a few bush beans. So I've got my Rockencore. This was new to me last year. It's a yellow bean, and when it was growing I was thinking, ooh, I don't think I like the look of that, but actually it was gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. It's really waxy. It was great in summer salads. And because I save so many of my beans for storage for winter, it was actually really nice to have one for having fresh in the summer, so definitely doing again. I don't know where, I've got no space for them, I'll find somewhere. These are the Coco de Paimpol. which, if you remember, if any of you saw videos last year, will know that a friend gave me 10 beans. They were so precious. I planted all 10. I got 10 plants. I used 8 plants for eating, and I saved 2, the best 2 plants I saved for seed saving. And I got about 80 seeds, of which I've kept about 40 or 50, might even be more. And I've given away about 40 to friends, some friends on the continent, some friends in the States, spreading the cocoa love, yay! And then finally in my legumes, oh, it's not finally, I've just remembered something else, chickpeas. I've saved a load. I've actually probably got way more there than I need. I realised I've also bought this fat packet down. Can you see how fat that is? So they're going to come home with me tonight to be eaten. Coming home, where shall I put them? I'll put them here. And then the last of the legumes, I grew the soya last year, and I wasn't that made up with them really. There were quite a lot of space. Podding them was so fiddly. I mean, the chickpeas are fiddly, but these are really fiddly. The beans were tiny. I mean, so tiny, and I just thought, is it worth it? So what I've got this year, so this has come from one of the viewers who wanted to do a swap. So I've done a little swap. I'm just saying hello to one of my neighbours as she walks up the path. This edamame, so they should hopefully give me a bigger bean. And then this one, just remember, you need to boil for 10 minutes before you eat it. I can't be podding and snacking on them on the allotment because they have toxins in them unless you boil them. So that's a lot of beans, isn't it? And like I say, I have to prioritise what I grow in terms of, firstly, people always ask me, what should I grow? Grow what you like to eat. I love my beans, they're really versatile, I have them with everything and in everything. So I grow beans because I like them. But I grow them because they're easy to grow, they store well, they're easy to harvest, all those things. So what else am I doing? Carrots. I don't actually have any seed packets here because I've got saved seed at home. So I'm going to be doing the Autumn King again. I will sow those later in the year, but they're great for overwintering in the ground. They've been brilliant. And I can't remember the name. Nance? Is it Nance? I think I'm doing Nance as a sort of, as a summer crop. The leeks, I'm doing good old Musselburgh again because, you know, they work. They work every single time. Now, I haven't actually ever managed to save my own seed because I eat them all. So some things produce seed in their second year. Leeks, celery, the brassicas, whatever. So you always have to leave 1 or 2 plants behind to produce seed. And I get to that stage where I just want to scoff everything. So I've had to buy leek seed this year. The brassicas, if you look, I won't go through those again now, but if you look a video, I think last week, I think it's called Planning and Sowing the Winter Garden, you'll see me getting my brassicas in. Tomatoes, celery, celeriac have all been started already at home. I think you guys know by now my favourite tomato is Gardener's Delight. Obviously I've sowed a load of those. Now I've used my own saved seed and the germination's been a bit erratic. So I think I've just about got 14 plants, which is what I wanted. I think I sowed about 25. I've got 14. Phew. The other one is Chadwick Cherry. Again, I saved seed from last year. They've done really well. I accidentally sowed about 40. 38 have come up. But that's great. I'll have spare to give away. And I think one of the joys of gardening is to give your spares away. That's all the indoor stuff. What else haven't I covered yet? Big family of vegetables I grow. I love them. Squash. I'm just going to bend forward and pick up 1,000,000 packets. So last year I tried for the first time 3 different squash. So I normally grow a sort of bog standard butternut, and again I grow them because they store really well, really easily without the use of electricity. It's a tongue twister. And I find them a really versatile vegetable. You can use them in sweet things, savoury things, roast them, mash them, soup them. They're brilliant. So they will always, always be a big part of anything I grow on the plot. So last year I tried 3 new varieties. I tried Violina, which came from Italy, which was the one with the really gnarly, almost pachyderm-like skin. Now, they were good. I liked them, but they weren't very easy to process in terms of peeling. They were so gnarly, and they were massive. They were just almost too big for me. So I will do them again this year, but maybe just 2 plants. Then the other new one of the new was Sucrine du Berry, I love saying it, was the one with the hint of nutmeg, and again it's had a gorgeous taste, so I'll grow a couple more of those this year. And then the honey, let me just remind myself, I've got a scrap of paper somewhere. Apparently I don't have a scrap of paper. Honey boat, or was it honey nut? Honey boat, I think. Which were the really quite small ones. I think in North America you know them as the delicate, it's something like delicate, which were great as a one portion kind of squash. Lovely. So I'm doing all of those again this year, plus a bog standard butternut. But what I'm really excited about, rifling for my packets, isn't that a sight to gladden the heart? I love seed sharing. I absolutely love it. It's one of the joys in life, is to find something you love and be able to share it with friends, and to receive that love from other friends. So I've got a few pumpkin seeds here that have come from North America. Thank you so much, Michelle, you're a star. I've got Rouge de Tom, and that's a deep red orange. I've got Long Island, I think it's cheese pumpkin. Yes, lovely. And these are all ones she's grown and saved. And then finally, this is not something she's grown and saved, but it's just become available on the market. Can you see it? I don't know how it's pronounced. Geet Okasomin. Now this is from a company called Baker Creek Seed. Actually, I'll talk about companies in a minute because people are always asking. And I believe this is the first year that they're commercially available. And if you go online and look at Baker Creek Seed and this particular variety of pumpkin, there's a fantastic, fantastic story behind it. And all the sales, all the proceeds from the sales this year are going to a Native American Indian, I think, reservation, I'm not sure, but where the seed was found. Apparently it's going to get up to 4 feet long, be a foot in diameter. So I'm not going to need many plants. So what I'm going to do this year with all these lovely extras that Michelle has sent, I would normally have half of one of my beds given over to all my normal squash, which I'll still do. No space. Right idea. That space that's underneath where the wigwams, if you like, for the beans are, where the bean poles are, that space in between them, I'm going to try and fit 3 squash in each sort of line, each row. So hopefully 9 squash. They'll act as a great ground cover. Their leaves will give shade, so retain moisture. So I'm hoping that will be something that works for me this year. And then finally, another squash that I'm so excited about, and this one has come again from the States, and this time this one's from Shannon. Thank you so much, Shannon. Honest to goodness, I so appreciate you guys sending me seeds. It's absolutely wonderful. It just makes my heart sing, because when they're growing, I'm going to think of you guys. Yay! I love this one. It's called Baby Butternut. It's a climbing honey nut, and it says, hang on, glasses off, maybe I am 65, personal sized sweet little mini butternuts. Now the great thing about these is they will grow vertically. Because the squash won't get too massive, they won't need support. So the thinking this year is, if you know where the end of my cold frame is, that bed that I still haven't dug out, that eventually I was thinking of for herbs, but I'm thinking maybe that's a waste of space. I'm going to try and build a couple of A-frames. So get a load of the baby butternuts planted and let them scramble up the A-frames. I think that's it. Is that everything? Of course, there's going to be flowers all over the plot. There's a few more flowers have been picked and sown this year, which breaks my heart that I've had to pick some more flowers, but they will be beautiful and jolly as they come up on the plot. And as I say, a couple of days ago, and it was really hot and sunny, I was panicking, thinking, I should have planted by now and I haven't. The fact is, there's loads of time. Where are we? Mid-April, the nights are still chilly. I will probably start to do all my direct sowings in about 2 weeks. Most of the things I've mentioned just now will be sown direct. I don't baby any of my plants, apart from the tomatoes and celery. They don't get babied. I kick a hole in the ground, chuck a seed in, cover it with dirt, walk away. If it grows, it grows. If it doesn't, try something else. So I hope you guys have got all the seed you need. I was going to say, if I've got a spare, I'll send it to you, but it's going to be too late, isn't it? So I hope you've got all the seed you need. I hope, for those of you who've got snow, that it's finally melting. Melt! And in the meantime, I hope you're getting a bit of sunshine. And I'm going to say cheerio for now. I'll catch up with you all again soon. Take care. And happy seed sorting!